to our news conference for this morning. I would like to welcome you and wish to thank you most sincerely for taking your time from your busy schedules, especially this early morning, to attend to the briefing this morning. And this briefing this morning, ladies and gentlemen, is extremely important, as we would like to outline the performance of the mining industry. As you may be aware, the mining sector, like any other sector, was negatively impacted by COVID-19 pandemic in 2020, which saw most countries instituting partial or complete lockdown and restrictions on both local and international travel. In responding to COVID-19 pandemic impact, government implemented the following measures to cushion the impact of the pandemic in the mining sector. Number one, the government of the Republic of Zambia suspended SI 90 relating to VAT import on parts with a focus on the mining sector, resulting in improved cash flow to the mining companies. Number two, the suspension of export duty on precious metals and gemstone as a means of making the commodity more competitive. Number three, suspension of 5% import duty on copper concentrates, resulting in an economic advantage to mines and further stimulating the local ore production. Number four, facilitation of importation of critical inputs into mining through Ministry of Commerce, Trade and Industry. And number five, removal of duty on COVID materials. Ladies and gentlemen, the favorable policies and interventions implemented by government, coupled with expansion projects and ramping up of operations, led to an increase in copper production by both large-scale and small-scale mining companies, except for Lubambe and Chibuluma, that recorded a decrease in production due to operational challenges and also the suspension of operations at Chibuluma. Colleagues, as earlier alluded to, the country recorded an increase in copper production in 2020, with 8 of the 10 large-scale mining companies recording an increase in copper production. The sector performed better than anticipated as copper production increased to 882,061.46 tons in 2020 compared to 76,430.77 tons recorded in 2019, representing an increase of 9.71%. Copper production, ladies and gentlemen, by large-scale mining increased to 868,670.46 in 2020 compared to production of 787,698.77 in 2019, representing an increase of 9.32%. Equally, copper production by small-scale mines increased to 13,391 tons in 2020 from 8,732 tons recorded in 2019, representing an increase of 34.8%. Colleagues, the increase in copper production by large-scale mines is mainly attributed to the increase in production by Kalumbila Minerals and Kansanshi Mines PLC, while the increase in copper production by small-scale mines was due to increased processing capacity by small-scale mines in 2020 as compared to 2019, as well as the stabilized power supply to many plant operations. Ladies and gentlemen, there was a significant increase in the production of coal from 361,647.80 tons in 2019 to 448,821.40 tons in 2020. The increase in the production was due to the rise in the demand for coal for power generation. Ladies and gentlemen, gold production. Gold production reduced to 3,578.81 kg in 2020 as compared to 3,912.753 kg produced in the same period in 2019. The reduction in gold production is due to reduced grades of gold in ores mined at Kansanshi. The new developments in the gold subsector saw the participation of a new entrant in the market, Zambia Gold Company Limited, which was tasked to purchase gold from the artisanal and small-scale miners for the purpose of building the country's gold reserves at the Bank of Zambia. Sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, countrymen, colleagues, members of the press, I am glad to inform members of the public that Zambia Gold Company Limited was able to produce a total of 93.66 kg of gold in 2020 just from its formative stage at the Akasenseli operation, and it is hoped that this number will build up going forward. And a total of 47.9 kg of gold was already deposited to the Bank of Zambia as of 31st December 2020. This is in an effort to build the country's gold reserve. Please note that gold production by Zambia Gold Company Limited commenced in May 2020, and I wish to commend the company for a job well done, and we expect production to continue to increase as the company ramps up operations. And I want to continue to sound a warning that government will not entertain illegal exploitation of gold and indeed other minerals in the mining sector. Ladies and gentlemen, with regard to gemstone production, the sector reported a decline in the production of gemstone in 2020, which stood at 9,783.43 kg compared to 23,704.61 kg in 2019. This reduction was due to the suspension of operation at both Kajam Mines Limited and Gemcanton Mining Services Limited due to COVID-19 pandemic. As you are aware, the production and the sale of gemstone is done through open auction, and in the process, without well-structured sale modus operandi during this difficult time, automatically there was a decline. A total of 4 gemstone auctioning were held during the period under review by Kajam and Gemcanton, generating a revenue of 52.76 million as compared to 7 auctions conducted in 2019, which generated a revenue total of 125.5 million. As I have already indicated, the reduction in the number of auctions was due to COVID-19, and that the restrictions on the movements by various auction players necessitated this huge decline. Ladies and gentlemen, the country recorded a reduction in cobalt production in 2020, which stood at 287.19 tons compared to the production of 367.281 tons in 2019, representing a reduction of 27.9%. The low performance in the cobalt subsector was due to the reduced cobalt mineralization and operational challenges experienced at Konkola Copper Mines. Ladies and gentlemen, production of nickel increased to 5,712.03 tons in 2020 from 2,499.66 recorded in 2019, representing an increase of 56%. The increase in production was due to the restructuring and streaming of mining operations at nickel mine. Manganese production, ladies and gentlemen, increased to 28,409.3 tons in 2020 compared to a production of 15,903.60 tons recorded in 2019, representing an increase of 44%. Manganese production is mainly done by small-scale producers, with 21 active small-scale manganese producers contributing to this total production. The increase in the production was also attributed to increased compliance in terms of more operations being formalized. In addition, more manganese processing facilities have also been set up, mainly in Serenje. I must also underline that we have had a lot of illegal, both local and foreigners, involved in the illegal exploitation of manganese, and government continues to ensure that all exploitation of manganese resources must be formalized in order to stop the illegal operations. Colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, the country recorded a reduction in production of cement from 2,381,745.63 tons 2,381,745.63 tons in 2019 to 2,127,832.35 tons in 2020, representing an increase, a decrease of 11.7%. This decrease of 11.7% in production was due to the implementation of COVID measures in which companies were forced to rotate and reduce staff interaction with a view of reducing the spread of the virus. Colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, in the area of value addition, a total of 3 companies, namely Neocant Cable Zambia Limited, Zamefa, and Zauco, were adding value to copper cathodes and produced various sizes of copper cables which were consumed locally and exported to other countries. In addition, several medium to small-scale companies were producing jewelry from gemstones. These include Jagota Gem, Jewels of Africa, South Stream Enterprise Limited, and the Zambia Gemstone Miners and Traders and Marketing Association. Ladies and gentlemen, as I conclude, when we are dealing with numbers, mainly, people are busy writing, and I can see that our friends from the press are busy writing and making comparisons. And I'm aware that this report that we are giving both positive and negative, because it's a comparative analysis from the previous year. And what is more delighting for us as a country is that our focus for copper production has started to give a positive trajectory, to an extent that in a period of COVID, to move from 779 to 882 gives Zambia a positive trend in terms of our operations. And this is against the background of several big mining entities not posting to this number. So we are hoping that going forward, we should be able to hit our benchmark, which we have set for ourselves, and begin to get and reposition ourselves as Africa's #1 producer of copper. And we can see this positive trajectory. Colleagues, in conclusion, the prospects for the mining sector looks positive despite the COVID-19 pandemic as all of you are able to see from the numbers that we have presented, and that we continue to operate with the health guidelines that are set out in the COVID procedures. The country has projected to produce in 2021 in excess of over 900,000 tons of copper as our focus. While we have a long range of ensuring that we hit the 1 million target as set out in our long-term agenda. The commodity prices on the international market have started making positive gains, which will encourage mining companies to further increase their production. As at a global scale, there has been an increase in the production of electrical vehicles which rely on copper, and the more advanced technologies which are becoming more dependent on minerals such as copper, including manganese, nickel, which will propel the industry for production going forward, especially for motor vehicles. This will certainly require huge production from the mining sector, and Zambia remains ready to take part in this equation. I thank you. Yes.
The minister is ready to take questions, and the permanent secretary, please indicate your name, the media house you're representing, and the mix of small and black to answer the question. First question, please. Yes, sir.
Morning, Honorable Minister.
Good morning, thank you.
My name is Francis Chikalo.
Yes, Francis.
It's not the first time that you are sounding warning with regards to illegal gold mining. I think the last press briefing we had, you also sounded the same warning. I just want to find out how rampant cases of illegal gold mining, and maybe in terms of revenue, how much has government lost under the year review?
We have had a lot of rampant illegal exploitation of gold across the country, but more pronounced in some areas. As you know, the exploitation of gold, especially alluvial, is simple to the ordinary people across our country. And that's why most of them have been involved in this cage. Government remains resolute that engaging our communities, engaging our people is the best route in order to avert this crisis. And that in the process, government and the Republic of Zambia has lost millions of dollars through these unprecedented illegal activities, mainly perpetuated by foreigners. In short, our local people are actually persuaded in this process because they have a ready market to foreigners. You will be surprised that when we did an operation in Kasenseli for the first time, in excess of over 1,000 were foreigners, including Lufunsa and all these areas. So government would like to ensure that this illegal scourge is nabbed, and that we mop up all the resources to the treasury. We have had a lot of resistance in terms of formalization of gold and manganese, but mostly gold, because there are a lot of people who have been benefiting from this illegal practice. Warlords, real people that have been benefiting, have been hiding under the illegals. And these are the people who have been fighting government when we have been trying to formalize this process. Government will not relent its efforts on ensuring that we formalize gold, and any illegal activities will be met with the law. Thank you.
Another question, please. Yes, sir.
So mine basically is just to find out.
What's your name?
Winston Mavor, Diamond TV.
Yes, Weston, and how is Diamond?
Diamond is doing good. On
Great.
So I just wanted to find out, what incentives is your ministry considering for exploration of the sector? As you rightly mentioned in your speech, obviously we are currently, have a situation where we have favorable copper prices, which Zambia can benefit from greatly. And obviously exploration is for the betterment of the sector.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And in realizing the important spec that sits on exploration as a future of any mining development, government has structured new mechanisms that are going to help the explorers, especially with the COVID pandemic in place. We are sitting out with our friends, the explorers, and ensuring that we provide incentives for the explorers that will relax some of the measures that we have put in place. But more importantly is to ensure that, the period of undertaking exploration is expanded, because most of the explorers have lost time during this critical period. And there are certain reports that they are supposed to be generating quarterly and so on. So, as a government, we have been alive that most of our people, most of the explorers have not been on the field in view of this process. So we can't just start sending restriction orders when we know that, in fact, the situation was such that the explorers have not been on the ground on account of COVID-19. And what we are doing through my Director Geological Survey and my PS is to allow each company present its own program. It's not one size fits all, because we have some people that want to hide under the schedule of COVID. License holders have an obligation. And if they have a challenge in view of the obligation, they are able to come to the ministry and state the challenge, and not expect that the ministry will automatically know that there was COVID. No. But as a government, because exploration is the basis of any mining operation, we have also gone out of our way of ensuring that we increase the time and the area of exploration in order to build reserves. That's what we are doing.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Other question here, please.
Good morning, Honorable Minister.
Morning, thank you.
Yes,
Morning.
From the Times of Zambia. I wanted to find out how government is faring so far at Mopani copper mines, and also there have been recent reports there of asset stripping. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. My statement is on the performance of the mining industry, and I've stated very clearly that, and for avoidance of doubt, you have actually done well, because ZNBC came late as usual. So for avoidance of doubt, this statement is anchored on the performance of the mining industry in the wake of COVID-19. And I must say that government is delighted that we have a positive trajectory in terms of production of copper, which has increased from 796,330 to 882, 61.46 tons in 2020. This is a positive trajectory against all odds in the wave of COVID. This increase from 2019 is 9.7%. And in answering the question from Mr. Kunda is that, yes, we have put oversight in terms of asset stripping at Mopane, and that our security agencies are on the ground, and that the process is also currently going on very smoothly. And we are hoping that in the next couple of days we'll be issuing another statement in terms of how we are proceeding. But if you followed our processes very well, we issued a statement over the status of Mopane just a couple of weeks in Parliament. And so I can assure you that the Mopane process is going on extremely well, and that this whole process is meant to, number one, ensure that production continues, sustain jobs, and create opportunities for our people. That's what we are doing.
Honorable Minister, good morning. Taonga from Bloomberg News. I have two questions. The first one being, if not for the COVID pandemic, what would have been, what projected output would have the sector attained? And the second one being the 882,000 output for last year. Is this a record high? Because I don't remember seeing a figure above 800, close to this in recent times.
Thank you, Taonga. Yes, indeed. The 882,061.46 tons recorded in 20 is an historical record high in this last couple of years in terms of the production. We have had a lot of challenges, and as a result of many operations having challenges, there was a decline in production. So this is a record high and a good trajectory going forward. And I can assure you that without COVID-19, we should have seen a lot of mining entities ramping up, and certainly we should have gone beyond the 882, and that's what we are looking for. We think that with operations such as Lubambe and Mopane, unlocking some of the current challenges that they have, we should be able to go over 900,000.
Any better questions, colleagues?
Any further question? This is interaction press meeting.
We have another question here, but you already asked it.
No, you should ask. This is interactive. Should be interactive. If you don't interact, you will say what I haven't said. And
yes, ma'am.
Good morning, Minister. I'm Nancy, I'm representative. I just wanted to get an update on the progress the government has made in terms of getting an equity partner for MCM.
An equity partner for MCM. Yes, Nancy, that's very good. You can see that she attended the last press conference, because that's what we did. We said when we did the phase one, the second phase is to get an equity partner so that we now move on in terms of the issues pertaining to production, sustainability of the workforce. The search has started, and I can assure you that it is bearing fruit. Like I did indicate, we have over 7 foreign companies that have expressed interest to partner with ZCCMIH and exploit this resource. Like we indicated, I want to re-emphasize, government's position is to ensure that ZCCMIH has a controlling share while allowing other entities or other investors to also take a significant shareholding to partner with ZCCMIH. So we have made some good progress, and I think that my PS will be arranging a news conference again to inform the nation once we conclude on these partners who have expressed interest. And we are encouraging Zambian businessmen, local businessmen, Zambian enterprises to take advantage and be part of this opportunity at Mopane.
Mine basically is just, as announced by the Bank of Zambia, obviously we know that the reserves at the moment are not doing very well. And the mining sector in production itself plays a key role in the stability to that effect. So I just wanted to find out, for any avoidance of doubt, is there anything specifically that your ministry is doing to ensure that we capitalize on the favorable copper prices that we're currently under?
Yes, PS. He's also here. My PS is here.
I think it's an issue really of ensuring that in this particular case the mining players are supported so that they are able to ramp up their production. So it's an issue as they ramp up their production, obviously from the sales and from the collection of mineral royalty taxes, that's how we build our reserves. And so what has been announced by the minister in terms of the performance of the mining sector in 2020, as we continue on that trajectory, obviously we expect higher mineral royalty, and based on that, that's how we build our invest. But in addition, as you know from what the minister outlined, we've also had the issue of gold. They've already started buying gold. So as they keep buying gold, that is now building and making better results for us as a country. So as they continue, that's how.
Thank you very much. Yes, Honorable Minister.
No, where are you going? You can ask questions.
Any further questions?
We are not questions. Questions.
Mr. Malumbo from Daily Nation. The minister is here.
Questions. As you know, colleagues, mining remains to be Zambia's comparative advantage. The Zambian government has embarked on a trajectory of diversifying our economy to other sectors such as agriculture, construction, and tourism. But mining remains to be Zambia's comparative advantage. And that's why government is working round the clock to ensure that we continue to run and operate the mining industry based on foreign direct investment. In short, running and operating the mining industry with the support of our colleagues who bring in foreign investment. But the thrust of government is also to ensure that Zambians participate. We have been mining in excess of over 100 years. There is nothing that we are able to show in terms of an operation by Zambians. So we want to move away from this rhetoric gesture where we just talk about, Zambians are able to do this, Zambians are able to do this. We want, like you came this morning, we could have driven to Chongwe, we could have driven to Lusaka West and show you an operation by Zambians, completely run and operated by Zambians. That's what we want. Questions? Twawapuisha abantu
Thank you very much.